What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing this morning? Glad to see you in here. Thank you once again for tuning into a live stream. Hopefully everybody has a good day trading today. Give me just a couple seconds. We're going to let a few more people get into the stream before we get into things. All right, looks like we got a good amount of people in here. All right, guys, so everybody's having a good morning so far, it seems. So once again, thank you all for being here. Obviously, I appreciate the support. Thursday, September 14th. Yesterday was a pretty, we didn't really have much great on the watch list. It ended up being one of those days where the better plays just kind of sort of popped up. And that's kind of what I expected based on what I had on watch. I didn't really see much potential. And again, if this is your first time tuning in, I want to point something out. What I typically do is I trade penny stocks. So most of the stocks that we talk about here or trade here are penny stocks. So that typically means we trade these stocks for, at least I do, we trade them for a matter of seconds to minutes and sometimes longer than that. Just depends on the stock and the way it's playing. But to quickly give you a rundown, mainly all the stuff we talk on this channel is penny stocks, and the price moves very quickly, allowing for a quick profit within the matter of seconds to minutes, and then usually I'm done. And that's my strategy of the way I trade. So normally stocks that I bring to you are going to be somewhere along the lines of that kind of trading strategy, okay? So I don't want you to get mixed up thinking you're supposed to buy this for a long-term position when it's really short. So just keep that in mind. And again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just here to try and promote some good stocks for you guys. So 3 stocks that I have on watch. So 3 stocks I have on watch are XXII. I've been following that one for a while now. I have NETE on watch. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that stock based on the moves that it made yesterday. And BLDP. Again, so 3 stocks only on watch, and I left the rest of the time there for some stocks that are probably going to pop up on pre-market and stocks that you guys mentioned out. So let's go ahead, hop into sharing my screen. All right. So first thing I want to take actually show you guys or take a look at. I don't know how many of you guys actually do this, but it's sometimes nice to actually look into the overall market. So I mean, this is a quick example. If you were to go under here into Market Watch, you can take a quick look at the overall market. And as you can see right here, to me, when I see this, as far as the market goes, this to me kind of looks like a rally. It looks like 50% green, 50% red. Although a lot of big names look like they're doing pretty well in here, but overall market looks kind of like a rally where we have a lot of green, but we also have a lot of red. So it's always good to pay attention to that every day. I take a quick look at it. You don't need to spend your whole day taking a look at this, but right now the overall market is kind of in a rally. And again, I never really do this on here, but I think I might as well start. I'm taking a look at the SPY overall market. Let me hop into a later time frame here for you guys. And it won't really matter unless we put it on a 3-week or 3-year chart. So overall market, it's doing obviously super hot, as you can see, but just on average, you always just want to keep a look at it just to see how it's doing. Obviously, we all know the market's been very hot, but it's actually taken a drop right now. Right now, it's 250 down to 249 pre-market. So it's taking a little bit of a drop, nothing super huge. So keep an eye on the overall market when you're doing your stuff too as well. All right, so let's go into the first one I have on watch, which is XXII. There's a few things that I'm actually going to want to spot out or mention on this one. Victor New, what up, my man? Or Elber, whatever you want me to call you by these days. So again, guys, so XXII is on my watch list. And I'll point out primarily why it's on my watch list, okay? So there's a few things that I want you to kind of spot here. Well, a part of it is yesterday, okay? So as always, you see yesterday had a nice little run, pretty solid. It ended up following this trend line all the way up. And it never quite, how do I say this? It never quite sold off, and it consistently held its high. So if you know me or the style I like to trade, you know that I like to find stocks that consistently go up and hold their highs, okay? So that's on the 1-minute chart. But if you look here on the 1 year chart, what's nice about this is if I were to take my drawing tool, actually, let me delete some of these drawings first. All right, so here's something cool to spot. All right, so if you're looking at the 1 year chart, you'll notice that its 52-week high was like basically 286. Okay, so 52-week high was 286. We just broke through that yesterday. We just broke through 286 yesterday's trading. So if you notice this, we just broke through the 52-week high on XXII, and we're performing what we would call a U-shaped breakout pattern from the 52-week high. So that gives me, so not only was XXII performing very well, I do believe that it had some pretty recent news yesterday, and it just had news this morning, a little bit. I don't think it pertains too much in contrast to the actual company. But the nice thing is we have a U-shaped breakout pattern, good news recently. We've been on an uptrend. So with all of those combined, I do feel that XXII does have a lot of potential today, and it may even have potential for the upcoming days, okay? So again, let's keep XXII on watch. Let's drop this down. So right now we hit a high of $3.30 pre-market trading. So ideally, we're gonna wanna see a break over 330. But I wouldn't be so shy to get in before 330, probably around I'm going to say probably 322, maybe 321. Could see a potential entry for me. Again, that's just my particular go-to. So again, I'm going to look to get in XXII. If it performs nicely, probably above 325 will probably be where I want to get in. Again, like I said, we had a nice U-shaped breakout pattern, broke the 52-week high. What kind of pre-market do you consider, or is it just your chart analysis? Jesus is Aguirre. I'm not sure what you mean by the question. If you want to go ahead and shout it out and reiterate it a little differently, because I can't really understand exactly what the question means, I guess. All right. So again, some background information. XXII. It's got an 85 million share float, so the float is a little higher. So this is a stock that you can expect to move a little slower. The average volume trades at 2.7 million. Right now we're trading 9 million. So we're trading well above the average volume, but in a whole, we're still not trading on a high enough volume to outweigh the float, the share float. So even though we're trading on pretty high volume of 9 million out of an 85 million share float, it's still not enough to make the price move significantly fast. It's going to move, but not like, you know, outrageously quick, okay? So don't expect to see the price jump from $3.30 to $3.70 and, you know, just one swift move. It's going to take some price movement and price action and trading to get it to that price level, okay? So again, keep it on watch. Next one I had on watch here was NETE. All right. NETE, am I fond of it? Do I really, really like it? Okay, so what kind of pre-market volume do I consider? So let me just give you a rundown on this, right? So for everybody in the chat, this is actually a valid question that the gentleman in the chat brought up. What do I look for pre-market as far as volume goes? And there's a few ways to answer this, okay? Typically, we want to see, you know, some good volume. We don't want to see volume of 5,000 or 2,000 or a couple hundred. You don't want to be really, really low on volume. And what I would consider pretty low on volume is anything really below maybe 20,000. Once you start getting above 20,000, there are some traders there. But the rule of thumb here is you will see stocks trading on, you could see stocks trading on 1 million shares of volume pre-market and then still perform very well. On the other hand, you could see stocks that trade 1 million shares of volume pre-market and then end up selling off right out of the gates. Okay, so it's almost like a catch-22. I've seen stocks perform very well even though they've traded on very high volume through pre-market. Then I've seen stocks that have traded on basically no volume or none at all and absolutely kill it that day. So it really is a catch-22. But really, I would say look at stocks that have been trading on relatively high volume for maybe the past 2 days. And that helps you wean out some really bad stocks, okay? But it's all really preference. I mean, I don't really have a go-to straight answer for you on that one. It really is hard to answer. I've seen stocks do very well both ways, low volume and high volume. But you want to typically, rule of thumb, you want to see at least some volume within 50, 100,000 is really what's pretty good. What's up, Juan? I see you in here, bud. So again, NETE is on watch. Am I very fond of it? No. Do I really like it? No. But I know there's a lot of people that are probably still going to watch this and try and trade it. So the problem we have with NETE, so the possibility we have first is the fact that it moved like 100 some odd percent yesterday. What did it do? It did like 140, 150% or something. So yeah, like Victor knew, look for like 100K plus pre-market, something around there, pretty good. Now I'll go back to XXII in a second here for target price. So NETE, when we're looking at this, yeah, the stock moved up all day long. And it grinded higher, but if you look, this stock had no news, even on, it may have news elsewhere, but on Thinkorswim, this thing has not had any news since the 7th, which basically means that there's nothing actually driving this price up. It was just strictly a momentum trade. So for those of you considering trading NETE today, or for those of you that are still in NETE, be very careful because there's simply no catalyst that's driving the price up. It was strictly momentum pushing that price. So as soon as the momentum dies down on the stock and traders flee from it, it's going to absolutely tank. Okay, it still has the possibility to go up, but it has to break through 67 or 68 cents first. And then if that's the case, my first target price would be 79 cents, 80 cents, which is the 200 EMA, okay? So right here, this is where the price is on NETE. Break above that, we're looking for a reach to about 80 cents, 79 cents. Let's see, low for morning market, listen to. All right, let me get out of here real quick. So XXII, for the gentleman asking what would be my target price on XXII, considering that XXII is hitting its 52-week high, there really is no resistance as far as prices go, and there's no resistance as far as moving averages go. So really, first target price is going to be 350. Then after 350 would be like a 375. Then after 375 would be $4. Okay, so when you don't have any price resistance or moving average resistance, then you go off mental resistance, which is usually every quarter, every half, and every whole, which means every 25-cent mark, every 50-cent mark, and then every dollar mark is where you're going to place your resistances as far as that goes. And then BLDP was another one we were looking at, pretty solid. Actually, there's a gentleman in the chat right now, which his name is Juan. He mentioned it out to me before I even really had a chance. He mentioned in the chat, and then I was going through my scans, and I was like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. So, again, BLDP looks pretty good here. All right, so, and why does it look good? Well, let's see. It grinded up all day yesterday. It never sold off. Pre-market, it's holding up very nicely. It's kind of bouncing around a little bit, but that's kind of expected. So ideally, we want to kind of see a break over 492, but I would play a safer entry. And if this stock can break $5 would be a great entry, okay? So I would definitely look to get in on BLDP over $5. Now, again, BLDP is one of those stocks with a much, much higher float. And BLDP has a 157 million share float. Let me repeat that. BLDP, 157 million share float, very high float, okay? Its average volume it trades at is 1.25 million. And the volume is trading at 18.5 million right now. Okay, so considering the float's 157 million, there really isn't enough volume, like I said earlier on XXII, there's not enough volume right now to make very, very drastic price movements. And when I say that, you're not going to see the price of the stock go from $5 to $6 or $5 to $5.50 in one swift move. it's going to take some time to do that. Okay, so it's going to definitely take a lot of price action, a lot of volume, and a lot of traders to make moves like that. But this can be a consistent grinder all day, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. Consistently grinding up all day long. We went from, what is that, $4 to $5, but that was all day long. So you see what I'm saying? You're not going to go from 5 to 6 right away. You're going to go from 5 to 6 all day long, probably, if that's the case, if it does go that far. So that covers all the ones that I had on my watch. So again, XXII, NETE for those of you that were interested in it, and BLDP. It looks like there's a few other stocks that were mentioned in this chat, and I'm just going to simply go based on some of this. Well, first, let me look at my pre-market scan, see what's up here. Let's fix this around. Load, please. There it goes. Okay. Oh, boy. TOPS is on the top of the leaderboards right now. So we got TOPS. For any of those that are interested, you can go ahead and just take you can take all the stocks right off of my screen if you would like, just to look at these pre-market gappers. So first on the list is TOPS. Then you have SHIP. I think Victor mentioned that SHIP had some news too as well in the chat. I have to take a look at that. ATOS. IMUC is another one. There's honestly, there's a bunch at this point. I could keep writing them down forever, but I'm just going to take a few, pop in, see what we have. Let's see. So going over the first one, we had TOPS. Let's see what we got. TOPS, I probably would never trade this. All right, I'm just not even gonna bother with this. TOPS is trash. It's just all in all a bad company. So I'm not even gonna waste anybody's time, my time, or your time. Okay, so SHIP is definitely moving up. Let me see this. So SHIP's moving up. It's got a little bit of volume right now. As we become closer to the opening bell, we're probably gonna see much more volume on it. Maybe pick up. Let's see what kind of news it has. Let's see. We'll definitely take a look at AM or AEMD. Let's see. So, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 news releases this morning. It looks like Synergy Maritime reports Q2 EPS, same quarter last year, sales 18 mil. So there's some good news on it, basically about their earnings, a little bit of about their EPS, earnings per share, and maybe some quarterly sales of about 18 million, something along those lines. So yeah, it looks like it has some good news. It is gapping up. We're currently gapped up about 16%. So you could watch this. Now this, I got to take a look at the daily chart. Where's the price? Price is at 135. Okay, so we have now gapped up above the 200 EMA. That's a good sign. We don't have any previous price resistance until, okay, so we basically have no, okay, so here's the thing, because we have no price resistance on this chart. SHIP has gapped up past, so yeah, basically SHIP has gapped up past the moving average resistance and price resistance. So now what you're basically going to go for is a gap and go strategy right out of the gates. I mean, you're basically looking for, the stock is gapping up, and then we're looking for it to run right out of the gates. And that's where it's going to play a break above the pre-market high. So wherever SHIP ends up stopping or capping out pre-market, you look to get in over that, and then you look for a run. And a stock price this low, every 10-cent increment really is a good move when the stock is this price this low. Okay, let's see. Ooh, plug in my computer. Let's see. what else do we have here? So another one. So SHIP looks good. SHIP does look like it has some potential. I like the pre-market chart, so you can keep SHIP on close watch. Let me go down. And so AEMD was another one people mentioned. AEMD is completely dead. Pre-market, it doesn't look very good. I mean, it's possible it could have a good day. So yeah, AMD received some phenomenal news, but right now pre-market, it's not reacting to that news whatsoever. So you really just have to watch this and see if it ends up picking up throughout the day. Right now, pre-market, it doesn't look like anybody knows of it. So definitely keep it on watch, but I don't think it's going to play very, very hot right out of the gates. Okay. ATOS was another one. Let's see. Not really. ATOS looks very choppy pre-market. There's really no good chart setup. There's no really good recent news other than yesterday, and yesterday didn't perform very well. So ATOS is a no-go for me as well. IMUC is another one gapping up, just about 6%. Any news? No actual recent news, so that's really nothing there. HMNY. HMNY, any news? There is some news. Movies surpass over 100. Not really. Nothing really good. Okay, so that pretty much clears it up. Unless there's something else you guys want me to take a look at here in the chat, let's see what we have. So it looks like somebody mentioned CHK. We went over ATOS. ATOS doesn't look very good. CHK, we'll do a quick rundown on some of these stocks. CHK has been on a consistent, oh, come on, computer. Oop. So CHK has been on a consistent downtrend. Although it's been on a consistent downtrend, it has recently double bottomed, and now it's maybe gaining. So yeah, I do kind of see a little bit of potential in CHK. For me to want to go long on something like this, got to be over 405. This one, I can already tell you, is I don't even have to look, but I can promise you it's probably one of those, it's probably a stock that has a higher float. And the reason I know so is because there's really no big green days or big red days. The stock, if you look on the year chart daily, you won't see any big spikes. So that means that this stock doesn't get manipulated very quick and the price doesn't move significantly fast. But it definitely could be a swing trade. You're going to have to keep it on watch. Again, you can just keep a close watch on something like this. All right, let's take a look at Halo real quick. Okay, so Halo is a little bit higher priced, a little bit out of my price range. That's okay. I'm assuming it has news if it gapped up this much. Halo Therapeutics enters collaboration deal with Bristol Myers Squibb, will receive initial 105 min. Okay, so yeah, there's good news on this stock. This one could run, but then again, be very careful. You went from $13 all the way to $15.80. You could see, it's a little bit of issues with that as far as trading goes. You might see a sell-off, but to go long, over $15.80 would be a good long for me. So over $15.80, it does have news, so this could be a strong stock today. So the gentleman mentioning Halo could very well be a good stock, but be very careful when stocks gap up so far. They can see some red right out of the gates. ZSAN is okay, so this is a recent spiker, but from very long ago. So basically the beginning of the year, or well, yeah, basically beginning of the year in February. So does it have news? Let's see. No recent news other than 2 days ago. It really just pumped up yesterday out of nowhere. I wouldn't consider this as a great trade today. There is no news. It's very thinly traded. So to the gentleman mentioning ZSAN, I wouldn't. It doesn't meet my criteria to trade. So maybe aim your eyes towards something like XXII, NETE, probably SHIP, BLDP, something with more volume. Let's see. you know what? There's a gentleman in there saying short SNAK, and I would probably agree with him. Yeah, maybe. It did consolidate sideways. It wasn't very strong yesterday. SNAK could potentially be a short. I will agree with that. It could potentially. I think I would only short below $4. That would probably be my thing. Short below 4. All right, we got about a minute here. We'll run through as many as we can. NLNK. Let's see, NLNK. Yeah, so NLNK was a clear short. You know what? I would be a little bit careful on NLNK right now. It's possible. It is very possible that you could see like another $1.70 short play. Possibly you could see another short play here, but it's coming very close to some support right at around $12.56 area. So be careful. I mean, this is one where I think it's probably going to start rallying a little bit and finding some support and maybe a bounce coming soon. And that just, it depends. Is it really going to bounce, or is it going to start consolidating sideways? We don't know. But you can definitely keep it on watch. In Clifton, I actually, not what I typically do, but I actually held some shares of BW yesterday. I got in right at about $3 on BW yesterday, so I'm really only sitting up 8 cents a share. So again, it's ironic because yesterday, this is interesting, okay? So yesterday, right at the end of the day, we seen a huge volume spike, but no price action, okay? Again, or sorry, 2 days ago, BW, let me point this out, and then I'll hop off here real quick. So if you look at BW, at the end of the day on, what was that? Yesterday was, so this was Tuesday that I'm talking about. Tuesday, we had a huge volume spike right at the end of the day, which is just weird. And then it kind of just went up all day long, okay? Same thing here. Right at the end of the day, we had a huge volume spike right at the end of the day, but there was no price action. It didn't go up. It didn't really go down. So it's actually making me very interested in the stock. So I took a small little swing on it. I really didn't swing much. Small swing position on BW. Averaged in at $3, so I'm only up 8 cents. But I do think this is probably gonna. Let me look at the year chart again. I do think for whatever reason, I have this strong feeling that BW is gonna make a little bit of a move today. But be cautious because you're gonna have some resistance right at about 320. BW is definitely gonna have some resistance right in the 320 area. Okay, I gotta take a second to answer this. Okay, so all right, so we'll end the actual chart, charting and stuff there real quick. Get out of here real quick. All right, so that's all I have as far as the stocks go. To the gentleman asking about Christopher Andrew, when you're considering share size, right? So there's more that goes into this, but give you the quick rundown on how share size works. So the best way I can put it, you can definitely take 10,000 shares. You could definitely get in 10,000 shares. You're right. You may not get filled all at your desired price. And then when you go to sell, you may not sell at your desired price. So for example, if you go in 10,000 shares and let's say you don't get filled, you don't have to, if you put in a limit buy and you only get executed, 5,000 shares out of the 10,000 at your desired price, then so be it. That's the way the market works sometimes. So yeah, you'll get filled, maybe just 5,000 of them, right? But let's say you did get filled all 10,000 shares. Let's say you got filled all 10,000 shares at your desired price that you would have liked to get in at, and then you go to sell. Now, I don't know if you use hotkeys or how sophisticated you sell, whatnot, but let's say you wanted to sell and you're trying to get out on the ask. Okay, it's more difficult to get all your shares sold on the ask because that's just the way it is. Okay, there's only so many people that are willing to buy on the ask. So you try to sell on the ask, you may not be able to sell all your position on the ask. So if that's the case, if you're to try to sell on the ask, you may get filled 3,000, 2,000 on the ask or 5,000 on the ask, and if the price starts to drop quicker than you want it to, then go ahead and move from selling your position on the ask to end up selling, closing out your full order on the bid. So that's one way of doing it. If you want to try and sell on the ask, you can, but it's going to take a little bit longer. And then if you're really nervous, you need to get out, just hit your hotkey or just put all your orders out onto the bid where you'll most likely get filled. You may not get filled, you know, on the bid, all of them right at the price point, but as the price goes down, someone usually buys them up. So I've really not run into issues like that very often. And when I do, I usually just sell it on the bid. Just get out and sell it on the bid. Save yourself. It's kind of like a risk thing. You risk you risk staying on the ask, and you eliminate some risk by selling off on the bid. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys again. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I know for a fact, because I checked, that some of the links in the description weren't working properly. So I know that one to my Facebook group, my Facebook wasn't working, one to Tech Bud Solutions Facebook group wasn't working, and then maybe even one to the Discord chat. So I have fixed all those links, and they will be in the description below. I really don't want to go back through all my previous videos and fix the links, so the links will work in all the new videos at least. All right, so again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so keep in mind Fridays can be some slow days. Keep a look on the SPY. Oh, secondly, Bitcoin is now down to, let me take a quick look here. I just want to mention this out. Looking at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin down to 3,431. That is now down $1,569. It's down $1,569 since I mentioned it was too overvalued and due for a correction. I'm not a guru, but it was bound to happen. It needed to happen. So again, that's some cool info. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday's gonna be a little choppy, so keep that in mind going into the day. Be patient, wait for your trades. Don't rush things. If you don't feel comfortable, don't trade it. It's simply as that. No one is saying you have to trade anything. So just go in there with the game plan as always. I will see you tomorrow.